Why, hello there. Let's make sure everything... That's not right. That should have been that. Try that again. And adjust, and adjust. That didn't. Results of that are not as pleasing as they could be. Let me double check this. Okay. I think we're good. Things are a little weird, but I think we're good. Okay, and then let's check you. You seem okay. All right. We'll go with that. All right. And then let's get ready to rumble here. Do. Because we got some things to do in map here today. I'm going to need to get you running as well. Suppose that'll do. All right. That. We might need the database. So let's go ahead and just start it now before I forget. Probably not, but it seems to come up every time I forget to start it that I need it. So, all right. I think we're ready. Except for this. This needs to get schwappied. Let's do some of that. That'll do, I think. And then you. Okay. I suppose. So we need to add delete to app state for these are both for deleting maps. So in our app state here, we added it to map controller. Right? Yes, delete map. Okay. Up here, up top. Good. We mostly need it to be here so that we can notify listeners about a change in the selected map. I'm going to say we can probably only delete it from the map selection panel, right? Otherwise, we have issues where if we deleted it and we had it open, problems, right? Index out of bounds sort of problems. And hopefully we can dodge that. Let's put it up here with new map, I guess. Let's put get map controller. I've messed up that. There we go. Put you there. Delete map. That's not the right syntax at all. What do we want to do for arguments here? Well, we take a map file data when we're getting it. New, we don't take that. We take parameters because we won't have all the bits and pieces of a map file data. I want to call that. And I think I'm going to call this the same thing. I don't really care if you have a name or not like that. I just want to do that. So what we're going to do here is go through our list still. In our map controllers indexed. And I guess I could filter this. No, because I need to get the controller first. So I might as well do that. We can say if ID is equal to the map file data ID. Index to delete is index, and we delete map here. And at the end here, remove at index to delete, like so. Notify listeners. Do you not take must be assigned before it can be used. Ooh, okay. Right. There's a possibility that this doesn't find it. I guess we can set you to -1 here. And do that. I can't do greater than 0 because 0 is a valid index. I can do greater than equal to, I guess. Either way is the same pretty much. Okay, so that should allow us to delete a map there. This is going to be a little bit tricky to test, but not impossible. And we have all of this is done. We don't need this anymore. I'm like 99% certain. File data. Chuck the controller in the bin. Okay. Map file data controller test. Yeah, this goes, well, hang on. Load multiple map data from file. I don't think we can do this. We can save these format file tests for sure, actually. It would be good to still have them. But that lives in the map controller now. We test them as part of other things, but since we already have them written, like, it can't hurt. Let's just put them at the bottom. I wish these things would stay collapsed. It's deeply annoying. But above our helpers. Bottom of the tests. Like so. And then we're going to replace map file data controller with map controller, right? Just want to make sure. Yeah. And we called you map controller? Yes. Yes. Let's make sure these still pass really quick. They should all be the same. We did pull them over. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's actually remove old map file data controller. And then map file data controller. Or no, not map controller. We'll add you. Bring for tests for the formatter functions over the old file data test. And then the rest of you, you're not going to be helpful, I don't think, to copy paste. I think it would take too much editing to the point where we might as well just write them from scratch. Move old map file data tests. Data controller tests. All right. That can go up. That's fine. The other fellas here. Do I not have... I don't have any app state tests yet. That's right, because app state, up until very, very recently, was pretty limited in what it did. It had like one function. Do we let it be tested indirectly? Like it should. It should probably have tests. I feel like that's gonna bite me if I don't. But gotta figure out how I want to do it. Hello to you as well. Gotta think about. So we probably need to mock, or not mock, but have map data to load. We have some we could borrow. We're gonna want more than one though. Probably map model. No? Oh, you just have, right, test data. Like, they can be the same map. I'm okay with that. But I'm gonna want more than one. Basically. Let's do make an engine. Yep. This is the editor right now, but yeah. This is just going to be app state. And then not go. Start. Okay. We're gonna need flutter test. Yes, for sure. This up here. Oh, I've copied too many things. We're going to call you test data 1. And then we're going to throw in, and I don't need all this junk. Test data 2. Test map 1. Test map 2. I need a UUID. Just give me a rando valid one. Here we go. This will do just fine because we don't want two maps with the same ID. And in fact, we need to freak out if that is the case. And figure out how to communicate that up as well. It's going to be when we load our maps here. Well, actually, I guess it could just be... Well, we can't really put an error in the constructor. Let's do this. To do check for duplicate map IDs, not for UUID collision, but for user error, like a copy paste of a map. I want to start game dev for a 3D game, but I want to start making a 2D game. Cool, do it. Make it happen. But for our testing purposes for right now, so we've got our test daters in there. We're going to need to set up everything in a file. And I don't think this actually, well, map model test doesn't have a setup all. I want to just borrow it because it's going to be very much the same. You're not here either. Where did we do that? It had to be in here. Yeah, here we go. So we need setup and teardown code. Like so. And then we're going to also need to grab these so that we know where we're putting stuff. You have killed my import line. Thank you for that. I need that now. Thank you. We'll need to import the file stuff. We'll need to import path. Import the JSON stuff. And then you, test data 1. We also want join tester path test this that we're gonna do, let's spell it correctly, it's just for future us. Like so, you will be in that folder. What's this mud engine all about? Is it procedure? No, it's a mud game. Name 1, name 2, you write as string sync the JSON encoded test data 2, like so, and we recursively delete that. That's fine because it'll clear everything in that folder. So we write both of those to the file. Is there anything else? We're gonna need controllers. Just test controllers, but that no, we create them. Duh. We do need these guys. What happens if you can't read? When we call you'll error, you'll throw exception, this whole thing will error. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Um, we could put some dummy data in here. I hate doing it, but could also like just do a single place where they all reference. I feel like that's a trap though. I like them to remain encapsulated. Um, can copy paste in attributes and skills and status effects from our other tests. I think I'm just going to have to for this. Like, there's just no way around it because this guy holds all of the state. And if we want to run tests on it, we got to do it. They won't... Because these guys don't have any DCs on them, they don't need to be connected, so that's fine and dandy. They just need to be loadable. What happens if y'all have... I bet you this errors if the file's empty. Let's find out. And I don't think that that should be the case. It should create a file if it doesn't have one. Test app state. Let's just run through these really quick. Test skill file name. Test effects file name. Help if I could type today. Test tag file name. Tags. Okay, so if we create all of those and we don't write anything, well, we got to write things there. Otherwise it errors because there's no file. We got to think about if that's correct or not. Well, let's actually figure out. This is just a load app state test. Oh, but creating you... Can I do this because you're not... You're a provider. And normally you get created in a different way. Parent context is required, so that's a problem. So I would need to... You're a provider, and that makes things difficult. Tester pump widget. I need to do that. That's gonna suck. There is, so we can put a widget, so we can do this. That's gonna make this test async. This is tester pump widget. Oh, aren't you? Maybe that's an old syntax. Flutter testing widget. It's because it is tester. That's this. We need to say that. And then async still. What? Tester pump widget. I guess it would just be the same as setting it up, right? Where are you? The menu stuff. It's a change notifier provider. Oh gosh. Change notifier provider. Create build context app state why is everything async tester is a something here. Dynamic function. I'm missing Flutter test. We've been using Flutter test, so you should be in here in the project. It's because this is the signature, correct? There we go. That's better. Now we need to import app state still, so that it knows what it's supposed to be doing. Okay. This is context, same way it is over there. Attributes file path is our test attributes file name. Ooh. This is a path join. And I probably want to do it at this level, I think. Test skill file name, effects file path, tester path, effects, test effects file name, map directory, tester path, in this case anyway. It's just that. And then we have tag file path. Test tag file name. Okay. And then do I not need to... Oh, that's because you come from above. But how am I going to... test you? How am I going to interact with you? Why have I gone blurry? Let's fix that really quick. There we go. Like, how do I get access to do test things on you? I can't do what I want, essentially, is the answer here. Can I mock a build context? Test widgets in combination with a builder, okay, but... Oh, okay, so it's saying I could do... Let's try this out. They're saying that instead of doing this, I can do that. And then... let's get you imported really quick. App state, context, that, and I don't need quite so many of those. Okay, it's not complaining. That's a good sign. And now that I actually have a handle on it, map controllers, let's say the length of view we can expect to be equal to 2, otherwise bad map count. And this is not Dart syntax. This is Dart syntax. That was Go syntax. So this, if I've set it up correctly, should be a proof of concept for the test. Okay. Path not found exception. So we got that, but it was starting to work. So do I want to create them? kind of fell down that hole before, thinking about what's the least surprising, right? And I think that I'm still on the side of not. Because the this is an editor. It's not meant to, well, how do you bootstrap this thing, right? Like, how do you get started up from nothing? You probably start with the editor. And if, like, you wind up putting things in a weird place, it's not the end of the world. You can just delete them. And they're just going to be empty text files. Let's just make them do it. Load items. This. There should be exist sync. If it doesn't exist, then write a string sync, just an empty nothing. And there should be creates file for writing and truncates file that already exists. We already checked if it doesn't exist. I think that's fine. So we should have vomited on app state tags. Interesting. Why did it do tags first? Or did that do it last? Test app state tags. What? Yeah, that's the last. Interesting. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's go apply this same exact code to load tags here. And actually this, while we're here, this is supposed to be single quotes in Dart. So this should puke on something else, because no, unexpected end of input. Yeah, okay. So we also need to handle, and then you are in map controller. Okay. Let's just go add these to everything really quick. We'll start there. This is also supposed to be that. We'll probably have to check and see if the string is empty or not. Before we try to do this. Or actually, no. It'll be after Or parsing, yeah, it'll be here. App controller. Load map. You shouldn't be empty. You should exist. Because it should find... Oh, you know what? No, because we told it that maps live in a directory. So we need to account for that as well. Can I do this here to be more reliable? It'll make it not a constant, I bet. Yeah, methods can't be invoked. Doesn't really have to be a const, I suppose. It'd just be a global. That's fine. And now you get map directory. Or no. Test map dir path. And then this also needs to create this so that it's in there. And then you both need to get written to that. Okay. See where we're at here. Unexpected end of input on a map file. That's still not right. Y'all get written in. Provide you, I did this in the wrong place. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Okay, so we loaded the state, we loaded those things. So it didn't puke on reading an empty. That's good, actually. We'll just create them if they don't exist. I'm okay with that. And because you go in this dir, the single cleanup should still be fine. And I'm not seeing... let's do a reload from disk real quick. State test data. I don't see a folder with that anywhere, so good. I think we're in business. All right, so maybe we can do what we expected to do. So we can check that. The other stuff. We're going to handle the test of loading them all from file and other things. We're going to assume if they got created, they're fine. That's what I think. This is mostly going to focus on the map stuff initially. It'll add tags later as things that we need to be working on when we get there. Right now, get map by ID. Test get map by ID. So we get you, and then should actually be map controller by ID. And we can say test state dot get map controller our map file data. Like so. This is going to be... What did I call you? Test data 1. Let's do test data 2. And the name of the string is UUID. Okay. You have a file name. This should really be all. That's the only thing we care about, but let's change this. Let's change this API because it's hard to work with right now. Let's call you get map controller by ID, and instead of this we're going to use a UUID value. This is oh, that was the right order for Dart. It's just not imported is what it is. So we haven't worked with it directly. There we go. And then you filter on that. That's going to break a couple things. You notably will need to pull that out. App state. Hello to you as well. Map files on select map. Okay, yes, by this file data. Okay, yeah, that's fine. It can pull that out of there and give it to me there. I can still do this. I still return it by the index. That's fine. What? This should be, oh, right. Hang on. Got myself all kinds of confused. This goes in here now. And it's not a name parameter in this case, which is fine. We do need to import you. And this could be null. So we expect result is not null. Unable to retrieve map controller by ID. And then we expect results map name, let's just say, to be equal to test data 2 name, right? Is that what the parameter, the field is called? Yep, just name. Reason. And what are you mad about here? I just null checked you. You can't be null. Dart language, yep. That is indeed what we're doing today. I don't want to try to compare these because these aren't even marshaled. They're just string data for the sake of writing to the file. Name of retrieved map is not as expected. Let's just say that. Okay. So that should pass because it should be able to pull it out, but string is not a subtype of UUID value. Okay. App state test. Oh, right. Because this is a string, I need to convert it for my test only. Inside of everything, we work with IDs, but there we go. Okay. Now, let's test add a map, I guess. And I guess we could probably just grab the whole thing. Test add map. Guess we called you new map. We still do all the setup, but then new map. We need a file name. Call you that. That's fine. Can do that. We'll need to import size. And you're confused about my imports. We're in this, so we need to go up and then back. To editor. Wait, where's my test? Now I need to go back up like 2 from where this file lives. Right here. No, it's only up 1. It's not editor. I mean editor. Goofy. String utils is at this level. So I should be... Yeah, I do have to go back up 1 more. What do I have here? Map templates. Okay, I'm in the right neighborhood. I want to then be in map editor, which is actually in screens. Doesn't exist. Am I losing my mind? I don't want to do a static path if I can avoid it. That's what's going on. I'm in lib. There we go. Because I'm in the test file, which is way outside. Green's map editor. Under map. Is that a good place for them? Maybe. Coordinate start. There we go. Can't use relative to import. I can do that though. Okay. Did you just kill that? I think you did. Okay. Now, we've added our new map. We expect that map controllers length is 3 now. Reason, if it's not, map controller length not increased when adding new map. Do that. That's what we'll go with. Hello to you as well. And then let's do at index 2 the map name. We'll do this. We'll put you here so that it's easier to do that. New map not added to end of map controllers list. Okay. That should all pass. Doesn't though, so I've missed something. That's new map data JSON. Okay, so when I add a map, so I found a thing there, it's just empty. I'm gonna add a map. New map. Map controllers add the new controller. Directory, the file name. Oh, I don't load you. Create a new map here. Map name should be getting set there. File name, map name. Because we didn't set it, that's why. We only set the file name. We can check that though, that's fine. Map file name instead. Because the name itself is optional. There we go. And then let's also test deleting the map. Never have in my life have I ever watched or thought of game development. Here you are on my feed. How do you do, my friend? I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Sometimes YouTube just decides to show people random stuff. Okay, so we don't need to add a test map to test deleting. And because we load a new test state each time, we're able to muck about with this. Our delete map, though, is going to take we're going to do the same treatment to this. We're going to make you delete map by ID, and instead of taking a file data, we're going to take a UUID value. It's just going to be much, much easier to consume. So let's delete. Doesn't really matter. Let's delete the first one. Delete map by ID. What did I call you again? Test data. Test data 1 ID. This, however, is a string, and we need it to be value from string a UUID value, which is what we have under the hood. Just our test data is different because it's raw strings. It's a map. Okay. Now we expect this length to be 1, not decreased when deleting map. And then at index 0, we'll go back to checking the ID. This should be the same as test data 2 ID converted. And then the reason if it doesn't find that is test data 2 ID is not the remaining. Or test data 2 is not the map. It's not the remaining map. Let's just call it that. Okay. This should all run. Pass. Doesn't though. I've forgotten something. Null is not a subtype of string. Because I've done this wrong. This is an ID in the file. It's UUID. No? Okay, so we didn't delete. Map controller length not decreased when deleting map. That's a problem. Let's take a look here in debug and see what's gone wrong. So we've got an ID, and in our controllers list here, app test data, test app state map 1, map 2, what are you? Test new map data. Oh, you know what? Because we write this data as part of... As part of creating a new map, we make the file. So... it'll be in there forever. And we don't... I believe we don't have a guarantee on the order of these tests. Hey, Terrace, how's it going? Did I already say that? Sorry, I'm elbows deep in this thing. That's okay. We just can't rely on this length. So here, what we're going to want to do is account for that. Because we've written it into our test data file. We either have to make a new directory for this test or look through the lists. And maybe making a new directory is the smarter bet. um, directory. This is going to be path join, test dir path, and test new map data. Let's do that. Create sync that one. Except for I can't do that. We can do this. This will be fine. And then you are not a directory string. Do that so that we can do this like so. It'll be easier. Okay, now you should be reliably in your own little world. We're going to do the same thing. Oh no. Crap. I can't do that. Because it won't find... We'd have to copy. Tester path. Test file name 1. Copy. Path join. Test your path. Map subdirectory. Test file name 1. And this needs to actually be copy sync. So you have to do both of these. This is still probably the sanest way to go about this test, unfortunately. We have to do that. The joy of not understanding anything, but just staying here because for the keyboard ASMR and your hands and face. Thanks, I think. And then map subdirectory. Okay. And then we can grab you and reuse this block. Like, we'll duplicate our test data files, but that's fine. They get cleaned up after. Test delete map data. You are map subdirectory. And then this should pass as it is. It's a lot of coding. How can people do this? One line at a time, of course. Load app state. It didn't get cleaned up first. Okay. I forgot in my copy that this is also needs to be in the test map path. Not you, but here. Like so. Because we need to pull them out of that subdirectory. Quite impressive. It's just code, man. It's the way we've been doing it for a long time. Okay, cannot copy app state test data. Test new map data. Ooh. Because I messed that up real good, didn't I? Hang on. Test directory path. is our root. Okay, that's correct. Test map dir path is you. That's correct. Test file name 1. Okay. We copy sync you. Test dir path map subdirectory test file name. That's correct. Create sync test dir path map subdirectory test new map data. Oh no, hang on. Tester path map subdirectory test file name 1. That should exist. I just made tester path map subdirectory. Create sync. No such file or directory. Tester path test map dir path. Copy sync to the new path. I just started Python yesterday. Hopefully one day I'll also do these crazy things for sure. Any tips or advices for a newbie? Yeah, just keep making stuff. Like that's the boring but correct answer is that you just got to keep building stuff. That's the only way to gain experience in doing it. And then path is app state test data, which is our tester. Oh wait, no, I got 2. Why do I have 2? If new path is a relative path, is resolved against the current working directory, but I haven't said. Oh, yeah, it's not relative. Or I guess it would be. Because this isn't a full, it is a relative path. So, it's annoying. Resolved against the current working directory, which is why we get you twice. Map test data. Oh, no. This is supposed to be test dir path. This is the full. I can replace it though. That was the combined. Thanks, made a sub. Cool, appreciate you. Okay, and then this should be failed path. Test new map data. Because copy sync. Path join tester path map subdirectory, which is you. Tester path, tester path, tester path. Map directory is map subdirectory. Should be based off of tester path, right? Am I confused? Quite possibly. Let's see here. Directory, map directory. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, that's my problem here. So this needs to be an actual direct path to relative to where it's run from. So it has to be that. So that we look in the correct folder. Test new map, good. Okay. So we just need to duplicate this down here so everybody gets correctly added. Duplicated that by accident, and then you need to be path joined as well to be in the right place where we just put you. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So we expect length 1, and then it's in the remaining map. Life is good. Is there anything else we need to do right now for this to work? We need to do this, but that's a future us problem. I think we're good here. So let's break this up a little bit. Just for future us. Let's add the skills and attributes and the status effects. So we stage those changes separate in a commit. These are update skills, attributes, and effects to create their directory, their file, if it does not exist. And then the rest of it can go in another. That's fine. Make the find and delete functions work off of a UUID instead of a full map file data. Add testing for adding and deleting maps. We actually for loading the app state and adding and deleting maps. Up you go. Damn? What's damn? So our node is over here because reasons. Deletability is added to app state. We can do, oops. Just take that out real quick. Okay, so map form, but also we do want to be worried about this. But if we were to have duplicate IDs, We would have to return like an error from here, but we can't really do that. I guess we could say we don't have access to the app state here. We have access to it here. So I guess we could throw some kind of a like an error here into like a just a nice big centered box. But for that, we're going to want like a reload option. And we're going to need like a nullable string. And actually, let's make you... Wait, did that backwards. I want to do that. I could do that. And if we want to expose the ability to reload, it probably just need to be a void still. You can do load state, I suppose, and it can be void. All of this good stuff would go into here. We can call load state here. That's fine. Let's do, for now, this is the only place where we're doing anything here for now. Up here, we probably want to change those to not throw or to catch. Probably try catch. I think is what we want to do here. And then I don't want to do that. I could go through the list each time here. I also, though, want to... If I'm in loading... No, I do map controllers is empty here, so yeah, I'm fine there. So it'll overwrite it, basically. And then... Map controller is map controller. We load the map. I can either go through... again, or I just make a second list. I think I want to just make a second list. It'll be empty to start with. Loaded IDs. If ID is equal, we need parens around here. To my new controller map ID, then loading errors add. What can I do here? We need to check here. I can either make you nullable or I just make you empty. If I make you nullable... Oh, no. Okay, we're going to do this. What did I call you? I called you loading errors, so I'm shadowing. I don't want that. We're going to call you errors. Errors add. There we go. A map with UUID of this ID already exists or has already been loaded. From, and I guess I could do I have a file, the path. I can do that. And then we add that, and we're also going to actually hang on. We don't want to add you, but we also don't want to return right now because we want to know if there's multiple collisions or something. I guess we can just do that. I don't love that pattern, but it's okay. It'll get us there. And then we can guard this and say, if we didn't have an error here, then we add you. Otherwise, we're just going to omit you. This also can break this loop. Actually, no. I want to go through. Because if we have like multiple UID collisions, like if you copy pasted a bunch of maps, I want to give you the whole list of everything you just broke so that you can go fix it. Okay. And then here at the end of this, if errors is not empty, then loading errors equals errors. Else loading errors equals null. That way, if we've reloaded, we clear it or set it to the new, either way. So now we have that. We can come in here. We still have this. This will be the else case. If it is null, we need to build an error widget here. But for now. Let's just throw that in there. And if we were to build this and run this, then everything would be fine if I quit you, and then let's monkey around with the file real quick as a manual test before we go do real testing. Server config maps Jim entrance over here. Let's just put his ID, oops, in place of your ID temporarily, like, yes. Let me break my stuff. Don't have errors though. We should have errors. Why don't I have the errors? Oh, I know why. Because I'm dumb. I forgot that as soon as we do this, we need to add. Geez, what was that? Map ID. You can't be null. You can't be null either. Oh, that was the one. Okay. That should. You got errors, bro. Cool. All right. Now, stop that. And let's not say loaded. That. Let's say that. We've already found it because we didn't actually put you into the controllers like we did load you, but it's fine. That's what we might want to close the map just to be sure. And part of this map is null. Yeah, we know that. Okay. So it clears all the data out, closes everything down. We don't save or anything. Okay, yeah, that's good. Just to be sure. Just thinking, do I even want to have... these other guys load? Yeah, it's fine. It's probably fine. Um, yeah. And I think we have an air screen already in widgets. Could be mistaken though. Edge screen app state main. Did I put you by chance in here? Or am I just conflating different projects? I must be conflating different projects. Okay. That's okay. Let's tidy up some of this stuff really quick. I have too many things open again. Yeah, these are done for now. We'll open them again here in a minute when we need them. Let's just get rid of all that for now. Okay, that's better. So this is really gonna be only used here, I think, because I don't think it's gonna matter. I have an alert dialog built in. Can I just... Thinking here. I don't know if I can use that without... Let's just do this for now. It doesn't need any params. Build context. We can replace this. Probably want the center in there though. We'll let it kind of format itself maybe. Loading errors in place of that. Okay, so let's fire you back up and make sure. Okay, you got errors, bro. And if we put this back into a center, she's in the center. Cool. We got goods. Okay. Can I put an alert dialog in here? You don't have a child. What do you have? Actions. Content. I can put you in here. Okay, perfect. Now, you also have a header type thing. Title. That's what you have. Title. And that was a widget, right? Yes. Okay. Errors loading. Yeah. Error loading. Error loading editor. Yeah. Okay. That gives me that. And then inside of here, we can do a list view. We could do this even. Loading errors. This is technically nullable. But if we're displaying, you should not be null. Why don't we do that? And then do a list view here. What's the correct syntax for this? Close these. See builder. List view. List view builder padding, item count, item builder, build context, int index. There we go. And then you item builder. Oh, I'm missing one of them. There we go. This is also item count is going to be len. Oop. That's not Dart. It's going to be that. At the index. So that ready viewport does not support returning intrinsic dimensions because I've wrapped you in this alert dialog, which I don't think I can do. Okay, what if we don't do this because we're not expecting you to be huge anyway? We could do a column. Main axis size is main axis size min, so it doesn't just blow out the whole screen, the whole height. Children of this widget for string error in error list return text error. He's not return. He's just text error. Is that the correct dartiness? Okay, let's just start that over so it's nice and fresh. Okay. That's not terrible. We need to clean it up some. Spacing. Let's give you some room between you. Okay. Why are you We also need to... This is a little bit scuffed. This only needs to be added. If we didn't have an error. It's part of my problem. Okay. That's correct. I think we're okay here. This... I'm actually going to need... I was just thinking about like the width and stuff, but this really shouldn't be a thing you encounter very often. And like if it grows to the width of the whole screen, yeah. Like the alert dialog has a degree of intelligence about it. I think I would like to try to avoid wrapping an error, word wrapping it, if possible. Like it's not meant to be used at a small size anyway, but if you happen to be there, that's just where you be. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I could... throw in... who raised you, I suppose. I don't think I like that. I think I'm just gonna do that. We could make you red or something. I don't think I need to do that either. We could throw in... like... something like this. And then we want you... to go like to a start alignment. Probably. Oh, that's main axis. This should be cross axis. I don't think I'm gaining a whole lot by doing that. I feel like there should just be a little bit of spacing here. We could do that. That's better. Or I could wrap you in a padding. Symmetric, vertical 20. Yeah, I like that better, just to make sure it's got room around on both sides. That's good. Now we need at the end here, floating action button that will do child is text reload. But could I get away with an align here instead of a whole row just for a thing? Bottom right. I can. Okay. So we do that. I don't really love that though. What about bottom center? I like that more, I think. I would like... You have a styling... Because you're round. Around your borders are round. I don't like that. Shape border. Rounded rectangle border. There we go. All square. I would like you to have a little bit more padding around you if I could make it happen, just to give you a little bit of stretchy stretch. Could try extended, which annoyingly changes this. Oops. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then on click here, we actually need to not just care about the list. We do need to grab you. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well do that. And then you are going to call load state. So nothing happening as expected. And then if I go back here, roll this change back, save it. No. That should be clearing your stateless, so you should go away. Because you're watching at this level. That should actually just be load. So we'll put you back into your error state here. We reload you. Okay, we've got our thing. Just want to make sure. Yeah. Why don't you get rebuilt? We might have to do a callback instead. That'd be annoying. App state load. Let me do... Oops. Let's print that. Put you back. So run. So false and then true. Why did it initially? Oh, because I put you in the wrong place. Only one time, please. Oh no, but you're here. That should be the same. So we load, true, because we had errors, right? Perfect. Reload, true. Perfect. False. Okay, so it's it's just not updating the state of the parent, which is kind of a problem. So if we're gonna do this, we might as well do this and yeah, that should be function. Oh, that's what I've done wrong. We'll make you nullable just because. Then we don't need to do this. We still have error list, and then on pressed if reload callback isn't null. Run it. And then error list is going to be app state loading errors. Callback. Can't be null at this point. We just checked you. Reload callback will be set state because we're state full here, right? Yes. Load. I might not even need the set state at this level. We'll find out. Put you back into broken. Reload. Got an error. Still in error land. Cool. Okay, false. I do need a set state. All right. Okay, fair enough. Get you back into the error state. Okay, clicking there doesn't do anything, obviously, because we haven't fixed it. We go back. Then we go back. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that approach. Okay, let's commit this, because that's a pretty good chunk of work. Check for duplicate map IDs. Raise an error if they exist. Display to user with reload button. Or, well, not really raise an error. Populate a list of strings with explanations if find duplicates. Display to user with reload button. so they can untangle the mess and get to work. Okay. That's where we're gonna be for that. Meow. I need to open some windows. It's getting hot and stuffy in here. And get a beverage. So I'll be right back here in just a second. And then we will... I guess we can throw testing around that really quick. We also need to think about adding a new... Well, no, we create our own... When we add a new map, we create our own ID. So that should be safe. So we should be okay there. This is for user error catching, not for UUID collision, which should not happen. I think that we can just go ahead and move on to giving us the ability to delete maps. And making sure we wire up add news to the map selector, which is right here. We have new map already. Yeah, okay. New map. Boop. And then I can go give him a name like so. I almost forgot. I need to save, close. So then he would exist. And then we need a delete button as well. Probably put it in here, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom too. There we go. Hopefully, I'll cool things down in here a little bit. I noticed it was getting stuffy about an hour ago, and then I didn't do anything about it. I was working on that and got distracted by it, and now it's like really hot and stuffy in here. Okay. Let's fix the camera really quick because it has decided to misbehave a little bit. It's better than it was before. It doesn't misbehave as often. Okay. So. That's fine and dandy. Deleting. Let's get you over here. Deleting was tested here. We just need to add it. We also... We could... Let's do it. Let's throw in a test really quick. Load duplicate UUIDs. Has errors. Duplicate maps with duplicate UUIDs has errors. So we can do this. Load duplicate ID maps. Data. So we copy you, and then we'll just copy number, I guess number 1 will be fine. We're going to copy this file to duplicate map JSON. And then when we load, we don't need that. We don't need all this. We're going to expect that... Actually, hang on. We could still do this expect. We expect you to be 2 still, because we added both of the ones that aren't duplicates, and then we skipped adding the one that is. And then we expect that our test state loading errors is not null. Loading errors was not set as expected. We could also throw a quick check here. That the length can't be null. Should be 1. Not the expected length. Chuck in one more that at 0 contains, we copied test file 1, so it should contain test data 1 UUID. True. Loading errors does not contain, if it fails, the UUID should be duplicated. Hello to you as well. How Game Engine works, I have no idea why you're even watching this. I don't know either then. Game engines work by running games. Right now we're working on the editor. Okay, so this test should pass for us as is, because we've already put in that machinery, we've already tested it manually, and it does. Perfect. Let's just go ahead and chuck that in. I don't want to commit new map though. It's fine. Add testing for loading duplicate ID maps. We'll just do that. Okay. Now let's work on getting delete in here. That way we can clean up this thing before we commit it. That's going to be in the map, and then the... Where do we put that widget? Was it just in widgets? Yeah, map selector. So here, available maps. Do I want to put them in a row at the end here? Yeah, probably, because clicking on them opens them. And like we could change this widget around, but why, right? When we could just do table row inkwell. We need a column, I think. Yes. It can be intrinsic. Figure yourself out. Children. Available maps. That's fine. Table row. Map name. File name. This, I think we can get a, just an empty text. With the delete column. And then I need, yeah, that's going to freak out. That's fine. I need this to have Gabriel children. I guess an inkwell. Or can I get away with just a regular plain old table row? No, I need to look at my dock. Look at the docks. I don't remember tables. Exact what can go in. Table class. Make you bigger. Table cell can go in. That must be, because this whole thing is a table row. This is a table row inkwell. It's like inkwell that goes into a table row. Table cell here. No? Really? Oh, no, child is required. Okay, that's fine. You, icon button, in here, on pressed, leave you empty for just a second. Icon, icons, icon, dot, sorry, icon, icons dot, delete forever. I think we've been using outlined. Let me rerun this now. That is not what I wanted to rerun. I want to rerun this now. Every table row in a table must have the same number of children. Have we done something crazy? Table row inkwell. Otherwise, the table will contain holes, but table contains irregular row lengths. But I put a cell in here, and I put... Oh, I put you in the wrong place. That's why. Oh no, that should be correct. Because then you need to have this, because you're the title, but you're just a table row. It's you. You're my problem, because you're a table row too. I don't remember why I did that. But you need to have that. There we go. Now, that's closer to what I want. I do want y'all to have filled. Is that the one? And then color theme of context. Color scheme error container. Oh, that's not. That's the that's the color of the icon, not the background. That looks horrible. Let's figure out where. What? Build buttons fire visual impact should be used for high emphasis actions. Is turning off microphone or camera. Can I really not? I don't want to change those. I want to change the background. What is wrong with this widget? Icon button class. They set the background color there. With the whatchamadealio. Icon button filled. This doesn't tell me more, really. Can do padding. That's nice. Why doesn't it show me when I want to understand? Field selected. Okay, I don't want to monkey around with all the different colors in the thing. Icon button. Toggle feature for standard filled tonal. Icon button filled. I don't want to mess with this state manually. That would be horrible. Okay. This is jank, and I hate it. So we'll do this a different way. On error container will be you. Instead of just this, we're gonna do an inkwell, I think, maybe. Let's try it. And then you. That's what they said, right? They said they did. Oh, it's an ink widget, just an ink. Okay. Paints a decoration with simple color on a material. Cool, perfect. Color here. Theme of context. Color scheme, error container. There we go. That'll get me closer to what I want. Now I just need to, unless you have, I don't see a padding. So we'll throw one around you. We'll do a horizontal of like 10 maybe? Just to give you a little room to breathe. It's not terrible. I like that better though. And then they look clickable a little bit hard to see, but it is there. And we can spruce that up in the future if we need to. I do want to do a confirm. Well, maybe. How likely is it that you're going to want to delete a ton of maps? Not likely. I don't think. And if you really, really wanted to, you could delete them manually from files. I think that this being a one-click, one-shot destructive action, it would be beneficial to throw up a confirmation dialogue. Confirm dialogue. I don't want a rando package. I think alert dialogue is part of that. Tell me more. Text box calls, show dialogue, and have an OK and a cancel. Navigator pop context cancel. Run that for me so I can see. And both of them actually, because you're slow as dirt. So you, OK and cancel. What is the difference? This dialogue example. I think we ran into this problem before. I think there was like no difference between these two snippets. I guess this one has a theme data. Scaffold, alert dialogue sample, dialogue example. Build context, alert dialogue, title, description. Yeah, I don't think there's a ton of difference here. Okay. Well. Let's just give her a go. We would need... Let's just get this part working first. Show dialogue string is what we want in this case. Except we want parens like so. Is my context. Title. Are you sure you want to delete? Actually, hang on. Are you sure? And then content. The map will be deleted. There's no way to cover the data once this is done. And then there should be in here builder. Oh. So context and then builder. I do need build context here. This returns an alert. Dialogue, which is where these go. Like so. Okay, what else is going on here? And then we should also have, yeah, actions. Not inside of content, though. After content. Actions. Widget. We can have... They're using text buttons. And I think I'm okay with that. Navigator pop, context cancel. Wait, hang on. Yes. That. So navigator pop, and then there we go. And then we need on pressed for you. This will be the okay. Yep, pop. Context. Okay. I'm curious as to what. I guess it returns a result. So that should get us that. I want you. I do that. Theme data. Right. Why do you make me think I cannot do this? I thought I could do this. Theme of context, primary color light. Should be able to do this. Oh, it's because you're okay, yeah, you can't be constant. I'm going to do that. I see. So there is that. So cancel. That's a little too light. But this is going to be too dark. What I want. It's actually not in color scheme. It's just in the theme. Never remember where this is. Nope, not there. Maybe it is in the color scheme. Is it just error? That's better. Okay. And then it's probably okay. Cool. And because I'm still inside of the same widget, theoretically, I could just do how would I do that? Won't be a jerk is Mud the multiplayer games old people used to play text-based. Yes, that's exactly what they are. This doesn't really tell me very well how to get this response back. Like, how do I... get response from navigator pop? Okay. On-press pop here with nope. Like, I don't know. Do I even care about... Tap, close the selection screen. That's correct. But... okay. I feel like we figured this out before, and it's just their docs are weird about it. Alert dialogue. So we have to do it here. We just did the work here. That's what we ended up doing. That's unsaved changes. Confirmation. Map selector. Delete confirmation. You bastards. I'm gonna just do it the way that makes kind of a little bit of sense. This child is supposed to be child of the text button, isn't it? I need a comma there. We're going to get rid of these arrow funks because they always just make things harder than they need to be. And leave it nice and simple. And we're going to do the same thing here, actually. Show dialogue string you and here like so. Okay. And then here, when we cancel, that's fine. We don't do anything here. App state, which I don't have access to. Build. I don't have access to app state in here. That's fine. We can get access if I could type, which is always a problem. We watch you, get that, then we can use you down here because we're still within everything. Delete map by ID. Now this is, we need to get this ID. How am I going to do that? It's got to be in the list here somewhere, right? Because we're in a 4 here. I should really extract some of these into widgets, but if we don't need to worry about do too much more in this widget, we'll leave it for now. We're gonna do that anyway. Where is our data? There we go. data dot ID, like so. All right, now we should be able to take foo. Are you sure? Yes, we're sure. Away you go. And we should see it missing. We won't see it missing there. We'd have to go look in the directory, but we could also just do this. Okay, no changes in the maps file now in the repo. Wire up delete into the map selector widget, which will, we're gonna get out of there. We don't have our map state open anymore. State provider. That's done. That's fine. Do I perhaps want to in here stateless widget. That's why I take a list of map files. That's probably fine. I get rebuilt when that state changes. It's not a huge deal. Oh, you know what? That's why my other widget, I'm dumb. It's fine though. Either way is valid. If I would have done a notify listeners on the load, which I actually might still want to do just to be sure anybody who's listening knows that, hey, I might have changed. You should check yourself before you wreck yourself. I kind of want to do it just to. It's fine. I'm going to leave it alone. Move to done. Ensure we notify listeners when we reload the app state. Or it's when we load, really. Alright. That's where we're at with that. Alright, we got a couple more little things to get squared away here before we go and worry about the icons and the connecting bits. We need a close button on the tag edit modal. That. Did I put you in widgets here? Yes. Tag select. Wait, no. That's tag selector. Let's actually get there really quick. To the gym, to the this, to the that, and then to the here. Okay. So I've got add new. And do I want to put a? I want to put a close there. Do I want to done? Not sure. Map. Widgets. It's not there. Tags. There we go. Tag edit modal. Because nobody else uses you yet. This should be here. I'll put it down below. we would have to push you down, or can I put a row here? I can put a row here. So if I do space between, that'll push them to opposite sides of the world. I can do my text, and then I can do an icon button. On pressed, whatevs for now. Icons dot close, perfect. That would put you there like so. And then the on pressed would just be a pop, right? Just whatever. It doesn't matter what comes out of it. Yeah, there we go. Easy peasy. I think I like that idea. And like it's a modal, so if you click out of it, it'll go away. It's easy to figure out, I think. Perfect. Let's do that. And then we'll commit that as well while we're here. We'll add that first. Add close button to tag edit modal. Why does my phone keep blowing up today? Let's take a look. Oh, apparently I've had some connection issues. Possibly some bad weather coming my way tonight. Let's double check and see. I don't see it in the forecast. I'll have to worry about that later. But apparently I've been having, or had a nice little spurt. I shouldn't be having connection issues. Why am I having connection issues? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, you freaked out at some point. I think it was all 11, well, 12 minutes ago and 2 minutes ago, so just all recent. Deeply annoying. Let me check. Yes. Absolute. Nonsense going on here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why are you? All of you can go away. Bum, 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 bum. Seriously? Piece of junk. Okay, let's take a look. Elevated packet loss. Well, yeah, that would do it. That's all they have to say for themselves, though. Along with network interruptions. Elevated packet loss was like an hour ago. Seems like they're having issues in internet land today, is the answer to that question. And there's nothing we can do about it. We don't know how. Alright. We will soldier on. And just let the cards fall as they will. Let's refresh this and make sure. I don't think it's completely disconnected me. I think I'm still... I think everything's picked back up. I think we're okay. If it becomes a thing that continues, we'll worry about it a little bit more later. All right, so we've got that squared away there. We need to make sure changing tags will set the map status to dirty. That is going to be not here, but in the tile data sidebar here. Connection data form, I believe. Yes. On save, no, but here, when we add tag. Well, no, this is new tag. Add tag to list. Tag controller add. Yeah, this is adding it to the list. I need to on save. Hang on. Current tags. Is what is available. My current... No, it's not. We add you there. Okay. And we don't have... This should be able to reach out now and get both of these from context. So map state, and then when we do our unselected here, we add you to autocomplete options, but we also add tag to list. How did I wire this up? That's the add. And then we request focus back. It's right here. is what governs what gets added to our. That's not true though, is it? On save. Current tags add. Current tags is this. This should really be a better. Better name. On selected. Why did I call you on save? Current tags contains. This should really be like on add tag. Let's rename you. On tag added. And then we don't need, because we have to do a callback anyway. Well, I guess, I mean, we're stateful in here. We could, now that we have everything broken apart nicely, get our data. Current tags, on deleted, remove. We did on save current tags. Because this whole thing is a form field wrapper. For you. And we maintain the state of this. So let's not worry about it at this level, just because it would require changing more stuff than I really want to. I just want on tag added. If current tags doesn't contain the new tag, then we add it, and I don't have map state here though, do I? App state. I need both. So that I can grab in here and say, unsaved tile changes equals true, right? Did I not have a setter for you? Oops. set. I do have a setter. Set unsaved tile changes. True. And app state, set unsaved changes. True. I wonder... This is actually going to take care of that for me. I don't need to worry about app state setting. Where else do I use? I use that there, so I do need that, but everything else should be okay. All right, so now if I come in here, and let's just hot build it to be sure. We have all the newest, latest, and greatest data, things in place. So if I was to come in here, not there, but here, and add west for some reason, you're not firing. That. And that is tied to... not this. Tile data. Map state. Unsafe tile changes. Let's take that out. Make sure we reset. Tag added. Call selected tag. Current tags does not contain you. We set unsafe tile changes. We set the state. We add them. Set unsafe tile changes. Does not notify listeners for some reason. But it should. Okay, and now if I go in here, not you, but just here and try to add, there we go. Reset that. Oh, that happens. What? Shouldn't happen. Should only happen on selected. Did I... Nothing in there. On tag added. What would that be? Color in there. Tag added. If you're not null, you get called there. That's the only place you get called. Sanitize tag name. Text setting value. Text. Why would you be running multiple times? Set unsafe tile changes. Not there. Because other things can set that too. It's fine. That should stay there. That should be correct. I wonder if it's related to this being said as well. I don't think so, but like, I want to know for sure. If I come in here, now you get set as soon as I do that. As soon as I type anything. On selected. This doesn't tell me. We could. Just for fun. Just log when it's running that. And if we type all the letters, it'll probably work a little bit better. So here. Yeah, it didn't run that. And then it ran that. So it's firing incorrectly. It's getting fired when we... Oh, you know what else it might be? It might be in the form here. Type our form field. This is my tag widget state. It's a form field. It's got an on change, which I think the form itself up here, wherever you live, it lives at the parent level. Connection data form on change, it sets it. So that's triggering an on change. Is there a way for me to suppress that on change? Oh, apparently I don't have anything else open right now. Browser wise, let's get you open. Form field intercept on change. So theoretically, I should be able to give it a call back directly. Form field stop on change in parent form. Callback is invoked after the parent form's form on change callback. Irritating. Well, here's the thing. It's not completely incorrect to say, yeah, you started monkeying with the field, and our on change is kind of like naive in that it doesn't truly detect whether or not you've put it back in place. So what if we just took that out? Let's rebuild. Our on change is pretty naive. And like, do I care that much? Reset seems to work. As soon as you start monkeying, it fires. And maybe that's okay. And resetting cleans everything up. I think I'm going to go with it and let it be that way. I think that's okay. Okay, yeah. And that should also trigger, let me double check. If I try to go away, yeah, sure. Should probably pick something other than that. And make sure. Yeah, okay. Let's go with that. Until we find a reason that we need to change it. Next data form. App state provider. Yeah, we renamed you text selector. Yeah, all that seems legit to me. And we'll say fix missing state change or change notification listener notification in the set untile unsaved changes, right? That's what you were called. Yeah, unsaved tile changes. Oh, it doesn't really matter, but rename the tag selector callback for clarity. Okay, that's done and dusted. Now, modify specific tiles on other maps to tell them they have a connection. So, we have all the pieces in place now, I'm pretty sure. We can give you like a copy of our file selection widget. Except map map editor What did I call you again? App selector. You pull the list out of app state. Which maybe is a little bit of a problem. Where are you? Down here? Yeah. Oh, no, you don't. You delete there. You take a list. Okay, cool. We didn't change that, which is actually good. Because if we give you a list that omits us, that's going to solve some probs. I'm okay with you being able to delete from this theoretical screen that we'll throw up here. We gotta figure out how we want to store it in the map, the room connection data still. We can use that widget. We can actually just reuse this central widget, I think, in like a modal maybe, because you're pulled out as map pane, except is that true? Because map pane has the header on it, which I might be okay with. If you want to change the map when you add it, that's I don't think that's a big deal. I think our machinery will handle that. So let's just go look at our room model. Connection IDs and connections. We use connection IDs at the start and we resolve them into connections. And in the server we just split this, and I'm really thinking maybe we do the same. Maybe. If we do that, we have to handle it a little differently, but that's true always anyway. And it has the benefit of all of our current code just needs to be specifically looking at this list that we renamed to like cardinal connections. And then we can add on like a, what do we call it, tagged connections or something like that. I don't hate it. Just see what's blowing up here really quick. Nothing important. I was gonna double check that weather though. I'm concerned about that potential for hail. That sounds unpleasant. Nothing says anything about it. I'm looking at the wrong day. So confused. Don't see anything about it. I think maybe that's the best way. And then we can reason about them much more easily, right? So we still have connection IDs. And then let's get rid of that for now. I'll get rid of the close. I won't need you right now. Map state probably, map editor shouldn't. Connection data tile. We'll need like a different kind of connection object, but we have a base class for them, so we can, that's fine. We can use that. So that we know how to work with them, right? We could also just use that and leave them in this list, though, because we have that ability. When we go in here, it's when we inflate. We go ahead and build this. We make a list of IDs. We have to deal with the offset. That's fine. That's still a thing. And then when we go in here, we add this connection. We resolve you from our IDs there. So that would handle it just fine. It would be in our editing bits and pieces here, which have moved. Delete room's fine. Still take you out of there. It's so the thing. Connection IDs are parent rooms IDs. That's fine. That's still a thing. Connection destination coordinates to the connection ID. That would be a problem. Except it doesn't have to be. We can change that. I have to change both of these though, maybe. To the location as opposed to the coordinate. It's when we update a tile, so it's going to have to be on a room that you'd have to do it on. To delete, that all still works, I think. Connection. If it contains that. This is all still in delete, right? Then we'll have to list connections. Delete connections that no longer exist. Connection not present in the current room added to the connection tables. Okay. So if we don't have you, we had you, say that you live on this room. Proposed location needs to be a room data. This has to change if we do that. And then we need to have abilities to check that other controller. Could add a thing to app state about that, but I don't have app state in here, nor do I have a context to pull it from. I don't really want to put context into these guys. I could put it into a different function. I really think I want to just add a list. I think it'll be okay. We just got to put them in the right places based on whether or not they contain one of the cardinal directions, right? That will answer that question. And we only build once now. Only, pull them out of memory, or off of disk and into memory. So if we slow down that process a little bit, it's not the end of the world. And I probably want like a connect helper that'll just dump a well, it won't matter. We can connect. We can give it a helper in this to connect to a foreign thing, and then or to like check a destination, basically. That's easy enough to do. We might already have that. In the map controller. We do. Tile at. It's either null or a thing. And the app state just has to manage this, I think. Okay. So let's get this loading up correctly. Cardinal connections. Ooh, except for, hang on. That needs to be... That should still be fine. Hang on, let's cancel this. The base here... Well, this is a room. It's not a connection, so we're fine. Room doesn't have a base class that it implements, because it's only a room. That's all it can be. Um, let's refactor that. And if we hate where things start shaping up, we can always just chuck it away. It's still a connection data. Let's call you tagged connections. So we throw here, we say, still a connection data, no parabramo there. I put you in the wrong spot though. So that gets us that. When we load you in yield controller in flat, we need to know how to figure out which is which, because we've been just dumping them in. So let's go connection tile base and say that you need to implement is cardinal. Which would kind of like be a getter, wouldn't it? Except for we could... I would like to store it. Because we should be able to figure out when we load you. So like if we look at a vertical. When we create you... This is the tile. I want the model. Vertical connection model, this north connection, this south connection. So we know what we are. Which comes from decisions made in inflate. Inflate map. XY. Tile data. Connection ID is not empty. Cardinal connections add. Because we were just dumping them in there, but... How did we... This is the tile model. This isn't the actual data. That's my problem. It's you. Our base, oops. Update, delete, get connection to, vector, get connections. Map data connections. Connection, map data connections, add tags if null. Set that. And it's you. We pull you out and attach you. And then we update the connection tiles. Okay. So this doesn't change. It's here that we need to figure out what you are. So this is the tile base, not... They don't use a different... Nobody over... this isn't a base. They're all this data model under the hood. That's where my confusion is arising. So it's actually you that needs to know what the hell you are. You need to figure out and I guess we'd either have to do it on unmarshal or we could do it on the fly. But I would like to do it on loading, I think. And actually, we already have a clue. Because if it has an ID and it's not the map I'm on ID, which I know when I'm in here, then it's an inter map. It's a tagged connection. That only works for this, though. If it is for a location that's on the map. I guess I could look at that destination when I load you here and figure it out that way. It would be here. If the destination has an ID and it's not, well, that, no. Yeah, that isn't this map, or location is more than 1 away from this tile, add it to the tagged location or connections list. That's what I think. And then to do update the form to handle the new category of connections on a room, and add handling for the tagged connections to the room update functions. Because so if we're on the same map, well, either way, actually. Oh, we need to know our foreign connections when we load a map too, though. Otherwise, well, no, we can do it here, I suppose. Yeah, we should track. We should track foreign connections, because we need to do the same thing we did in the server, where we don't know what order they'll load in, right? That's a problem. So it might not exist yet. If this if the entrance is loaded and it says my destination is the gym, but gym hasn't loaded yet, then I can't put anything into gym. So we need to do it after the fact. So the same way we did in the server, add a second pass to the, well, actually we need to do track external connections to this map. Second pass to the loading logic connect maps to display destination information. Does that make sense? Display destinations. Yeah, on the tiles. Because we need to indicate visually that, you know, this tile is the destination from a foreign map, a different map. What is a mud game engine? It's a game engine that runs a mud game, of course. I could make a bad joke about it, but I won't. All right. Yeah, because I want to display that. So we need that second pass to add it. Connect maps to display destination information tiles. Because we can know our origin information, but not destination until we load all the maps. That's why things went into map state. Is it game but wet? No. No, it's not. It's a multi-user dungeon. So yeah, we need a second pass. Display destination information on the tiles. So this also needs to know like it needs another list here so that we can keep track of incoming tagged. Or do we just use the same connection object? That makes more sense, I think. Probably. Oh, I see. Indeed. I think we can put use the same connection object on the destination tiles for UI display, that would make it easier to deal with if I don't have to maintain a third list of friggin' connections. And if we do that, then we just need to be able to reach up to app state and say, hey, I want to modify a different maps connection to like change the name or something. Or maybe we don't do that because we don't display destination information really here. It's kind of just implicit in having connection tiles here that we can look at both sides of the connection. But like over here, oh, apparently my select is broken. We need to fix that. Something has gone awry there. You. Like this only shows the leaving connections. So if it's a two-way connection, then it gets its own destination or its own origin here going out. We'll have to think about that a little bit. Question mark on that, I think. But that's going to take us to the 4-hour mark. So I'm going to go work on some other stuff and turn on some AC because it's hot as heck in here. But thank you for coming to hang out and work along with me today. It was good to see those of you who are returning viewers. Good to meet those of you who are new. I do this thing for roughly 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, starting on Friday and ending on Monday. So come back around tomorrow around 10 a.m. Central. I'll be here doing more of it. I'd love to see you again. If not, you guys have yourselves a great week anyway. I will catch you some other time on down the road.